First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to appreciate the issues that have been raised here. Part and parcel of the agenda for this meeting is actually leadership mentorship. And when you talk about mentorship, you must have a mentor and a mentee. And when you get into the political realm, there are some democratic ideals that are important. And one of them is universal. It is love one another, respect one another, and have a common purpose as young people. So the questions that have been asked about universal health coverage and the new funding model, but I would like to draw the attention to the fact that anytime change is introduced, there is bound to be issues to do with resistance. Behavioral resistance to those who are affected. Number two, there is a system issue, systemic. The resources are not adequate, or the structures are not there, or the systems are not there to deliver. But one thing that I want to assure us is that the new funding model was well intended. Let me say this. I don't want to go into a conversation that will land me in trouble because the matter is in court, but I want to say this. Let me draw a parallel. All of us seated here went through university, and we were receiving funding from Higher Education Loans Board. The funding we were receiving was not the same across. I received 30,000 throughout my entire study, and there are all those other colleagues of mine who received 40, 50, 60. At that point, the information we were giving help was used to determine the level of need to give us the funding that we needed. So this issue of banding has not started yesterday. It has been there, only that it was never disclosed to us that you have been given this 30,000 because your level of need was determined. It was never disclosed to us. What we have done and what government is doing is to disclose that funding will be advanced according to the level of need. Secondly, for those of us who are talking about the differentiated unit cost, the differentiated unit cost had many problems. I've not had any one of us here, now that we said, Honorable Secretary General, that this Comrades chapter is a chapter that will be able to put together issues and mainstream the comrades in the policy-making process in government, because that is the intent. Leadership, mentorship. I have not heard from any one of us here who can come and present a comparative empirical analysis of the differentiated unit cost funding model and the new funding model, and then be the merits of the former against the demerits of the current. All that conversation is probably what the committee that has been established will come up with. But by the end of the day, the empirical fact is that the new, the differentiated unit cost framework of funding universities almost brought universities to a halt. 23 universities were almost becoming bankrupt. They were being liquidated because of that funding model. And now, this one, the lady who talked about the difference between the need between affordable housing and affordable university education, right? She was there when she was speaking, so she's seated here, right? You may get to have data that there are those who need this social affordable housing more, and there are those who need affordable education as well. So we are dealing with social deficiency. There are those who require decent housing and affordable housing. There are also those who require affordable education. Government is there by virtue of constitutional requirement to provide both to all of them. So there is no discrimination. In terms of funding, the differentiated unit cost was not student-based. It was not student-based. It was a University of Nairobi, Egerton University. You have 100 students whom you have admitted, taking different courses. We give you a wholesome figure of 800,000 shillings for all those students. Within that, you have students who have a higher need. You have students who do not have any need at all. Now, how do you deal with that inequality? That was spreading inequality. This time, if you go to University of Nairobi, you are doing engineering. You are in Egerton, you are doing veterinary medicine. Funding follows you. The university is offering you service. Government is buying that service on your behalf from the university. So if your level of need is so extreme, that has to be exhibited by your application process. And then government is able to give you loan that is equivalent to your level of need, to give you scholarship that you will not refund a professor. I don't know what your parents do, but I assume your parents are paupers. They don't have any income. Then my kid is funded the same as you. Yet I'm able to afford. I'm able to afford. So why get government funding? Have you answered that question? Have you can answer that question? That is the intent of the new funding model, nothing else. About are issues that the information you supply when you apply for funding. So I want to avoid going into details because matters that can be canvassed in court will bring evidence and all that. And I will be very interested to actually get to know what is it that is defective in the new funding model. When it comes to discrimination, we talk about discrimination. In the Kenyan system, the Kenyan economic system, you have the haves and the have-nots. Why will it be possible that some of ourselves in society we live in it's according to the level of affordability. and economic power. This is the same thing that goes all the way to the services that the government is molding you as conversations regarding to policy. Please, one, an assignment for you. Just get the data and the statistics about around 5 years back when the differentiated unit cost was being implemented by government. And the year 2022, when the KCSE students 2022 were admitted on the new funding model, and 2023. Then get the facts right, because you have your intellectual output. There are statisticians here, you have economists here, and all of us. So that we can engage in this conversation in a manner that is fact-based, not attitudinal, perceptual, and fiction. Let us face the facts. This aspect of discrimination, that the new funding model is discriminatory, it is the use of the term discriminatory does not apply, because for all the time government has funded universities, even in the previous model, HELP used to give us loans at different rates. Omar Hassan Omar, right? I was with you. You were receiving 10,000. I was receiving 30. The reason why you were receiving 10 is because you supplied information which placed you, your level of need was not so much as mine. There was someone who was receiving 60,000. And it was never disclosed to us. The only mistake that we have done is to make things open and transparent. And we are ready to engage. I don't want to go deeper, but that is the case. Young sister, the issue of affordable housing, it is probably because your parents have given you some shelter, but you have not confronted a case where there is need for affordable housing. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Njue say something, and then we close with Bwana James Maina for 1 minute. Njue.
Okay, thank you very much, SG. This lady from KU who talked about the export of labor, and she wanted to know where they can actually visit to get more information, and whether agencies charge anything to job seekers. Now, if you go to our website, I'll repeat it, www.neaims.go.ke. You'll find the list of the counties where we are. And here in Nakuru, we are actually at Repa Building along Moi Avenue or Moi Road. Now,
let's get going.
Yes, let's finish up.
Okay, so again, if you visit our website, you'll be able to know or to get the list of all the registered recruitment agencies. Please don't make use of any unregistered agency to travel. And you must always insist on getting a work visa anytime you get a contract with the recruitment agencies that we've registered. Please ensure that you engage registered recruitment agencies only and not unregistered agencies. Thank you.
Asante sana. Let us hear a little from our brother James Maina on matters of university housing, students housing, hostels, and housing. Just put on the mic, please.
Can you pay attention, please? Attention. Comrades power. You know, when I was a student like you, I never thought I'll come in front of students again and answer tough questions like I used to ask. So I salute you all for the questions that you have asked. Let me say, someone asked whether the affordable housing program will transcend the next government. Yes, housing is already anchored in the Constitution, and therefore, unless the Constitution is changed, you cannot change the right that is enshrined in the Constitution. Number two, that right is actualized by the Affordable Housing Act that was enacted by Parliament. And the Affordable Housing Act provides the purposes of that act is to provide construction of affordable housing, as well as provide long-term funding models for home ownership. What we are doing currently is giving houses at a long-term tenant purchase, meaning the rent that you pay to that house reduces the amount of money that house has been sold to you. And the long term goes to that years, meaning you are already secured for the next generation. So affordable housing program is here to stay. It has been used by governments across the world to provide employment, to provide home ownership. The goods that you find we import from, for example, China. China was able to develop its own manufacturing industry because of working on affordable housing program. Today, you students who are in school, you want to get jobs after you leave. You want to gain skills as you are in school. And these programs, projects that we are working on, offers training, training areas for students. The program is also working with MSc and Juakari. How? We have set aside 75 items across the construction that are given directly to Juakari and to SMC to produce. And we hope this production that is being done by MCs will eventually culminate to cottage industries, like what is happening in China, like what is happening in India. Tiles, for example, in India are never produced by big factories. They are produced by cottage industries. And that's what we hope. We are incubating businesses from Juakari to MSME and to greater investments. And therefore, this is a program that is offering opportunity. Lastly, on skills, let me say, every opportunity that you get to develop your skills doubles your opportunity for success. So when you go back to your schools, the students who are working within the built environment, those who are also working in finance, the opportunities are broad-based in this affordable housing program. And to add my speech, let me say also this. Opportunities for leadership are not only in the political seats that are given out by the Constitution. Many presidents, President Truman of the US, now using that country, President George W. Bush, all of them were managers before they became presidents. So you can still become a manager and develop to become a leader and a political leader. So you can be incubated in several areas. You can be incubated like Secretary General, who went straight to politics. Our professor here went to the university, he's still a leader. So let's try all opportunities that are given out by society, and then we'll become better leaders and we build a better Kenya for all. Thank you.
Asante sana. I am extremely grateful to shukuru mapanelists wetu, tunashukuru moderators wetu, but most importantly, na washukuru nyote comrades on my behalf, on behalf of the party, on behalf of the party leader, His Excellency President William Ruto. We are extremely grateful. We feel the honor, we feel the excitement, and we believe we will continue to engage to deepen our democracy and for a better Kenya. Asanteni, asanteni vijana, asanteni wanafunzi, asanteni moderators. Comrades power. Sasa tuimbe national anthem yetu ambao pia ni maombi, na tuende tukiwa kwa watu wamoja.